Check. Now I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tuskegee University campus at a rainy Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium in Tuskegee, Alabama, where today the Golden Tigers host the Marauders of Central State. My name is Dwayne Walker, along with Brian McCullough. We'll be bringing you today's call. We're streaming on Flow Sports. This is the 10th time these two proud institutions have met, with Tuskegee leading the all-time series 6-3. Both teams enter today's play with identical overall records at 2-4, but don't let their sub-500 records fool you, because mathematically both are still in the hunt for a possible SIAC championship appearance. Tuskegee is coming off a huge 21-10 decision over Morehouse and improved its records to 2-1 in the conference. And despite Central's lopsided 77-34 setback to Fort Valley State this past Saturday, they are alive with a 1-1 conference record. Both the Marauders and Golden Tigers are chasing the defending SIAC champions, Miles College. They're 2 games behind Miles in the loss column. Today's matchup will boast one of the most electrifying runners in all of Division II football, Central State's Terrarius Saffold, who leads the conference in rushing and all-purpose yards. He's coming off an impressive career-high 13-carry, 235-yard, 3-touchdown performance last week. Meanwhile, Coach Willie Slater and the Tuskegee Golden Tigers are trying to return to their winning ways. They try to make it 2 wins in a row. They have a staunch defense against the Bass, where they rank first overall in the conference in pass defense. Needless to say, it should be an exciting afternoon of football. And when we return, we'll have the starting lineups plus the opening kickoff. So keep it right here. You're watching SIAC Football on Flow Sports. Welcome back, everybody. Dwayne Walker along with Brian McCullough. Kickoff just moments away. And, Brian, one quick question before we get underway. With the wet conditions today, who, in your opinion, has the advantage?
Well, I don't think the advantage goes to Central State in this instance. Of course, the Golden Tigers are in their home field. They have the home field advantage. They have the band behind them. The rainy conditions are going to fall, a little bit off to their disadvantage. But I think they still have the ability to, come to fruition. They've had a struggling season so far, but the Golden Tigers are still, in this race, just like the Marauders. They practiced it. It's been rainy almost all week, so I think the Golden Tigers have the advantage, of course, playing in their home field in this mud, in these conditions.
Let's see how it all turns out. Back deep for Central State will be number 23, Terrarius Saffold, and number 6, Kevin Greenow. Amos Hussick will kick off.
Dwayne, let me correct you there. Huskich Arnez.
Arnis Huchkis.
Huskich Arnez.
Huchkis Arnez.
He's actually my neighbor. He actually lives next door to me. Huskich Arnez back to kick for the Golden Tigers.
Set you up real nice for that one, Brian.
You did there.
All right, and we're underway. Long kick, and picked up there by Saffold from the 2, up to the 10, up to the 20, cuts back, and he will be pushed out of bounds at about the 25-yard line. Number 22 made that stop, Isaac Smith, the 6'1 sophomore out of Pritchard, Alabama.
And the Marauders are going to have to come out stopping this Golden Tiger offense. You let them get running, first and foremost, let them get the upper hand, and, you're going to really see them. The Golden Tigers coming out on defense first, of course. They're going to need to stop the rushing offense of the Marauders. And, we talked about their running back first and foremost. We're going to see how the Marauders are going to come out.
Central State has a new quarterback. Frank Casillo was hurt last week, so Darrell Williams, the freshman, will get this start. Hand off to Saffold on the 1st and 10 carry from the 25-yard line, and he's swarmed up under by the Tuskegee defense. A host of defenders there on the stop, including number 13, Kaylee James.
Kylie James, one of the most ferocious defensive tackles in the league here, playing defensive end for the Golden Tigers. He plays all around the defensive line. That time, he was able to stay home, get the stop, and allow no cutback lanes for the running back.
After that 23-yard kickoff return by Saffold, that first carry nets -2 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 12 for Central State at their own 23-yard line. Saffold on the carry up to the 25, crosses over to the 26-yard line, and once again he is gang tackled by the Tuskegee front. Number 2, Ricky Norris, linebacker, the senior out of Daytona Beach, one of the first there on the stop, along with David Henderson.
And I typically call Ricky Norris the 5'9" giant because he plays bigger than he actually is. Only 5'9". He could fly to the ball, and that time he had a nose for it. The pursuit was there. Great job by the Golden Tigers.
Gain of 4 on the play brings up 3rd down. Call it 8 from the 27-yard line. Williams waiting from the shotgun. He'll keep it, scrambling towards out to the left, being chased, and finally run out of bounds by number 1, Nico McMillan.
And Nico McMillan staying home there, anticipating a pass. None was there, able to get to their place and able to make the stop.
Well short of the 1st down, and it'll bring up the punter, number 41, Isaiah Smith. Meanwhile, back deep, Ladero Petway, the 5'9 sophomore from Spanish Forest, Alabama, will stand at his own 35-yard line. 4th and 7 from the 28. Waiting is Smith. There's a snap. There's the punt. High spiral. And they are going to mark it. Let's see where they at it. Going to spot it at the 44-yard line. So that's just a 28-yard boot by Isaiah Smith.
And these rainy conditions aren't going to help at all. So we might see a really nice round and pound game from the Golden Tigers. We know how Coach Slater is with his offense and his running backs, of course, seeing him come out of pistol. We're going to probably see a nice run game.
Starting at quarterback, Ahmad Duramus, number 3 for Tuskegee. Tuskegee going right to left. They'll start their drive 1st down and 10 from the 45-yard line. The pass is caught, then dropped. In and out of the hands of number 1, Peyton Ramsey, the 6'1 senior out of McCalla, Alabama. That's an uncharacteristic drop for him. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Starters today for Tuskegee, as I mentioned, at quarterback, that's Doremus, number 3. The running backs, Tarian Taylor, look for him to get a heavy workload, along with Eric Bright Jr., the wideouts, Ramsey, Stephen Hodges. The tight end is Alexander Mitchell, and we'll get to the interior line after this play. 2nd down and 10 from the 45-yard line. Doremus in the near flat, complete, and stepping out of bounds is Petway, crossing over into Central State territory. Call it a gain of 7. It'll bring up 3rd down. No, make that 8 yards. 3rd down and 2. Tuskegee, Golden Tigers coached by Willie Slater in his 13th season. 3rd down and 2 from Central State's 48. Doremus, play action. That pass is incomplete. Tried to find Stephen Hodges, number 12, the 6'1 junior out of Montgomery, Alabama. but excellent defensive coverage on the play by the Central State secondary. Fourth down, forthcoming for the Golden Tigers, and they are going for it. They line up in the I. Doremus up under center. He'll handle the big fullback. He pushes the pile. That's number 27, Eric Bright Jr. Bright carrying a load. 5'10", 223 pounds out of Madison, Florida. He gets enough for the first down. Gain of 4. First down and 10 for Tuskegee at the Central State 44-yard line. 12 minutes, 28 seconds to play. First quarter, no score. Dwayne Walker along with Brian McCullough, and you're watching SIAC Football on Flow Sports. There's an errant snap, and it's swarmed under and recovered by Central State. They recovered that football. Heads up play by number 25, Nebulin, Stevens, the freshman linebacker out of Cincinnati, Ohio. So there's our first turnover of the game. And for Tuskegee, as far as the turnover margin, plus minus, they were actually a -3. Make that -4 as they turn the football over.
I mean, you talked about how the rain might come into play, and you saw it there.
First out and 10. Now we have some movement at the line of scrimmage as Darrell Williams looked as though he's going to try to hook up with Kevin Greenow, who was running a go pattern to the near side of the football field, but the referee, Ben Cole, stops things, and he will have a call. There's just a slight drizzle coming down here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. Encroachment against the defense.
Yeah, that's David Henderson, the senior out of Sparta, Georgia.
Central State, their offense going to work left to right. Delane Brown, Kevin Greenow, Terrarius Saffold, Darius Meters, Darius Thomas. That give is to Saffold, sweeping along the right side. On that 1st and 5 carry, crosses over into Tuskegee territory. Give him a gain of about 2. The rest of those offensive starters for Central State. Darius Thomas on the offensive line, along with Dorico Ellis, Genesis Hartley, and Robert Corbin is the tight end. Second down and 3 from the 49-yard line. Central State, that offense looking over towards their bench, receiving the play. Their head coach, Cedric Pearl, tell you a story about him coming up. Second and 3, sweeping Saffold along the left. Looks as though he has first down yardage before being knocked to the turf by number 6, Brandon Roberts, coming up from his defensive back position.
And they really prepare for the run this game. The safeties very much staying home and reading the eyes of the guards, able to diagnose run and get there to make the stop for a minimum gain.
Yet enough for a first down and 10 for Central State. They're moving the football left to right. They're at the Tuskegee 45-yard line. Darrell Williams is the quarterback, number 2. He is starting today in place of an injured Frank Cosio. Shotgun snap, given to Saffold, tries to sweep right, but met there by the first man to slow him down was number 52, Christopher Faulkner, the 6-foot senior out of Bay Minette, Alabama. He slowed his progress for no gain. Second down, call it 10 from the 45-yard line of Tuskegee. Trip wide receivers to the near side of the football field, and now they will adjust. Now we've got twins to the top, twins down low. Williams awaiting the shotgun snap. Now he'll wait. Saffold will step to his right. Williams goes back to pass. Now he brings it back in and starts to run. down to the 40-yard line and crosses down to about the 38-yard line. Give him a 7-yard carry. No, let's see if they move it back. They're going to move it back a couple of yards. Call it a gain of, let's give him 6 on that. 3rd down and 4 from the 39-yard line of Tuskegee. Couple of substitutions for Central State. Number 14, Grayson Green, the junior out of Cleveland, Ohio, will check in. And they're going, let's see, twins to the top, single coverage near side of the football field. Let's see if they try to throw a bomb here, try to catch up with Delaney Brown.
Yeah, they kind of use their safety as a linebacker.
Jet sweep coming around the right side and getting up through the hole there. That's number, trying to get a number from you, from our vantage point. Kevin Green on that carry, the senior wide receiver running the jet sweep. Sizable gain, 6-yard gain. That's another 1st down for Central State. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. Williams will give it to Greenow. Greenow finds a little bit of running room before being stopped by number 95, David Henderson, the 6'1 senior out of Sparta, Georgia.
And they talk so much about getting, to the ball, basically getting to where they need to be to stop the run, because the run is really what they need to stop when it comes to the Marauder offense, because the offense is so proficient when it comes to running the ball, and that was a great job sniffing out that run.
8 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. First quarter, no score between Central State and Tuskegee. 2nd down and 8 from the 30-yard line. Williams goes for the downs, looking for Brown. Incomplete. Out of the end of the end zone. Nice coverage on the play by Nico McMillan, number 1.
I think that was Ken Hite, number 7.
Number 7? Forgive me.
That was number 7, Ken Hike. The one-on-one coverage, that was a cover 3, which of course, one-on-one would ran a 9 route would, of course, turn into one-on-one coverage, and that time the ball was just overthrown. 3rd
down for Central State. From Tuskegee's 30-yard line. Content to give it to Saffold. Might be a 2-for-1 situation right here as they try to cut this 4th down situation in half. Give Saffold about, call it maybe 2 yards on the play. Brings up 4th down and 5. And I'm sure they'll go for it here. They will. Central State content to go for it. They rank 7th in the conference in 4th down efficiency, 5 of 14 on the season. Let's see if they can make it 6 of 15. Twin receivers to the bottom, twin to the top. Williams calls his own number. Tries to elude a man, but he's going to be dropped by number 7, Ken Hike Jr. The senior out of Decatur, Georgia, snuffing that play out right away.
And that was a great job there. Everybody expecting pass, and sometimes you can lose sight of the quarterback, but that time they know they have a mobile quarterback up against them, able to figure out where they need to be, made the play, and that's a turnover on downs.
Make it 5 of 15 so far this year for Central State. That's 33% on their 4th down efficiency. So the Tuskegee Golden Tigers will march out of the football field. They'll take over after holding on downs. They have it 1st down and 10 from their own 27-yard line. Ahmad DeRamus, the 5'11 senior out of Gadsden, Alabama, is the quarterback, waiting for the shotgun snap. They're in the pistol. Calls his own number. Sweeping to the left, and he crosses over the 35 up to the 36-yard line. Gain of 9, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Call it 1 from the 36-yard line. DeRamus, very, very elusive. Let's see if they
him. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say they use him like a weapon. They use him as a runner, and he's so proficient with that.
They give that handoff to number 4, Tarian Taylor, the 5'7 sophomore from Scottsdale, Georgia. It looks as though he has enough for the first down. He does. First down, Tuskegee Golden Tigers.
And Tarian Taylor is such an electric runner. He's not the biggest guy, as you noted, 5'7", but he can really get into the small gaps and very much be explosive. We saw it there, able to get between the tackles and pick up the first down.
6:48 and ticking, no score. Dwayne Walker along with Brian McCullough. First down and 10 for Tuskegee at their own 42-yard line. Shotgun formation is DeRamus. Play action pass. He looks once, looks twice, throws for a man. He's got a man, and it's just ricocheted off of Peyton Ramsey, the intended receiver, number 1. He had to wait for that ball as DeRamus didn't quite get enough velocity on it.
And it really might just go overlooked, but the time in the pocket that DeRamus had, he had a whole brick wall separating him from the defenders. He had a lot of time to throw, and that was a great job by the offensive line giving him time to throw. He just couldn't get it on the money.
Chris Lewis on the defense right there. And speaking of protecting DeRamus, this offensive line has only allowed 7 sacks through 6 games. DeRamus, options, out wide, and let's see. That play is snuffed off along the right side. Tarian Taylor could not find any room whatsoever. So first time we've seen them run the option today to the right to no avail.
And typically you want to run off your right tackle because your right tackle is your run blocker. But for the Golden Tigers, it's actually their left tackle. That's why they run it so much, as well as the fact that Ahmad is left-handed. Some news for you.
Third down and 9 forthcoming for Tuskegee at their own 38-yard line. Now under 6 minutes to play, 5:53 and counting first quarter. Shotgun formation is DeRamus. Back to pass, looks to his left, fires the football to Hodges, complete, up to midfield and crossing over to the 48-yard line. Beautifully thrown football by DeRamus, connecting with Hodges for a 13-yard pass play, and it's first down and 10 for Tuskegee at the Central State 49-yard line.
And Steve Hodges is not the biggest receiver, but he's very physical. He told me on the offseason he was going to work on his route running. That time he was able to find some open space within the zone, make the catch, and get the first down.
First and 10 from the 49. DeRamus. Read option, gives it Taylor. Taylor cuts it back, down to the 45, 40, 35, 30. He's got one man to beat. He could go. He will score. Touchdown, Tuskegee Golden Tigers. 48-yard scamper, Tarian Taylor.
And that's what I was talking about. The electrifying run there, able to create some space and outrun the defense. He just took off that time. Great blocking by the offensive line and great job by Tarian Taylor to get that touchdown for the Golden Tigers.
And with 5 minutes and 8 seconds to play, Tuskegee draws first blood. Huskis Arnez. Did I get it right, Brian?
Huskish.
Huskish.
We'll work on it.
In for the extra point attempt. It is up, and it is through. And with 5 minutes and 8 seconds to play first quarter, Tuskegee leads it by a score of 7-0 over Central State. Let's take time out. You're watching SIAC Football only on Flo Sports. Back to live action, but before we get to it, just a reminder, all roads leads to Rock Hill for the 2019 SIAC Volleyball Championship from November 18th through the 20th. Follow the SIAC on social media at the SIAC for full coverage of the tournament. Dwayne Walker along with Brian McCullough here at Tuskegee, Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. And let's see what they're calling here. I believe Tuskegee has called a timeout. I don't think I've ever seen a timeout. Wait, hold on a second. I don't think I've ever seen a timeout called before a kickoff, Brian.
I think what happened was there might have been some miscommunication on who was supposed to be on the field. They have two different kickoff teams, and they have three kickoff teams. They have white team, they have red team, and they have hands team. And I think there might have been some miscommunication there because they were trying to figure out who was supposed to be on the field, who wasn't. So a short timeout there is going to give the Golden Tigers some time to figure out who's supposed to be where.
Well, who Skitch knows what's going on, Skitch? All right, well, they'll get it all worked out. Meanwhile, back deep for Central State, number 23, Terrarius Saffold, and number 6, Kevin Greenow. When we started the broadcast, I mentioned that Saffold, he's the leading all-purpose rusher all-purpose yardage performer in the SIAC. So he has put up some nice numbers, and we'll get to those in just a second.
Tuskegee Arnez to the left.
Rain keeps coming down. Arnez boots a little pooch kick, and almost recovered there by Tuskegee as the football sails out of bounds, and that's going to be a penalty.
Maybe that's why they called the timeout.
Maybe, but it's going to be a penalty because the football went out of bounds. You can't kick the football out of bounds, and that's what had happened.
So they can choose to re-kick or take it at the 45-yard line. I believe most cases they might re-kick it.
Oh, no, you're going to take that right from the 45, bro. You're going to take it right where it's at.
I mean, they're probably, if they did, they were going to they're going to you're right. Yeah. You're right.
Central State led by their head coach, Cedric Pearl, in his 6th season. Central State finished 5-5 last year, which was their best record in a long time. And those of you that might think that Cedric Pearl name rings a bell, well, it does, because back in the early 90s, he started his coaching career as a graduate assistant here at Tuskegee.
Oh, that's back before my time.
First down and 10 for the Marauders at their own 42-yard line. They're trying to answer the bell after a 48-yard touchdown run by Tuskegee to get on the board first. Loose ball. Williams will have to hop on it. We talked before the broadcast of whether or not these rainy conditions might have an effect on play. I see clearly on that one, Brian. You could see where the conditions had an effect.
And the same thing has happened for the Golden Tigers. You know, being in the pistol, of course, it's not under center, so it's not as easy to take the handoff. You have to catch it, of course. And most quarterbacks don't wear gloves on their hand, at least the throwing hand, and that time couldn't get a hold of that one.
Loss of 3 on the play, 2nd down and 13. Bunch formation, trips to the right side, near side. Scrambling out is Williams, throwing, and he has a man, and it's complete to number 14. That's Grayson Green. Grayson Green near midfield. They're going to mark it about the 49-yard line. It'll be a gain of 7. It'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
And that time it was a great job. He kind of looked like, reminds me of RG3, and kind of looks like they're wearing Redskins uniforms. But he rolled out to his right, able to find a man, hook up with him, and get some better field position for this 3rd down.
30% efficiency for Central State on 3rd down this season, which ranks 8th in the SIAC. 3rd down, call it 3 from the 49-yard line from Central State, working left to right. The play is going to be whistled dead. And let's see what the call is going to be. Ben Cole will mic it up and give it to us.
Central State's called a timeout prior to the snap.
Apparently, Coach Pearl saw something he did not approve of. You talked earlier about Tuskegee and Central State. You mentioned something about Washington Redskin uniforms. Is that what you said?
That's what it kind of looks like, a throwback Washington Redskins uniforms with the yellow and the dark red. That's just my opinion.
Well, it's ironic that you say that, because you do realize that The SIC and Nike, they have the first NCAA league across all three divisions to do a league-wide apparel deal with Nike. And as a matter of fact, fans can go to the www.thesic and your individual school for Nike gear. How about that?
That is something. I'm wearing a Nike sweatshirt right now for the Tuskegee University.
3 minutes, 55 seconds to play, 7-0 on a rainy afternoon, rainy Saturday afternoon. Temperatures hovered at about 60 degrees at kickoff. Expected high today, 62 and rainy. 3rd down and 3 for Central State at their own 49-yard line after the timeout. Trip wide receivers to the top of the formation. The hand to Saffold. Saffold crosses over into Tiger territory, and it's close enough for a measurement. Let's see how many yards he gives them. They're going to call it enough for a first down. First down and 10. Give Saffold 3 yards on that carry.
And that was a great job. I mean, you saw trips to the left. I was expecting pass all the way. But then looking at it about, how close they had, that would have been a great job to catch him off guard.
I think they're trying to set up this Delane Smith. Down, look, there they go right there trying to throw it to Delane Smith, as I said. But Height playing phenomenal defense on that play. But it's going to come all back, I believe. Tuskegee encroached on the play, and if so, they'll mark it off 5 yards.
And I think that's exactly what they were trying to do. If they saw a free play, they went for the money, and that time was off the mark. But they still got the penalty.
Heads up by Darrell Williams, the quarterback, the freshman out of Cincinnati, Ohio, having enough wherewithal to realize he got a free play.
Situational awareness is key in a game like this, and that time it was on 100.
Robert Corbin, number 80, checks into his tight end spot on 1st down and 5. Let's see if they hand to Saffold here. 1st down and 5 at the 43-yard line. Yes, they do give it to Saffold, trying the right side, and he's met there in the hole by number 6. That's Brandon Roberts, the 6'1 freshman.
And the freshman Roberts has been playing so phenomenal. He has a very good nose for the ball. He's able to pursue, able to play on the ball, and that time he stepped up and made the tackle.
Gain of 4 on the play, 2nd down and 1. 2:51 to play, first quarter. Twin receivers, top of the formation, shotgun for Williams. Play action. Williams trying to sweep left, being chased, gets away from him, ran, but finally he is swarmed under by number 41, Andre Auguste, the freshman out of Miami, Florida. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, he was newcomer of the week last week.
Oh, he was, and he stepped up. And he played to the fullest. Everybody, nobody really expected him to outdo him or outplay, what he did. And he just stepped up and just performed.
First down yardage, however, for Central State. 1st and 10 at the Tuskegee 36-yard line. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in the first quarter. 2:04 to be exact. And now the play is going to be whistled down. And I believe they're holding up. They're going to allow Tuskegee to make a substitution. They have too many men on the field right now, but they scurry the player off. And now play will resume. 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Back for Williams. Eludes the freshman we just talked about. He'll keep the football and scamper down to about the 30-yard line. In hard pursuit again, Andre Auguste. But Williams gains positive yardage. Improvising.
Sometimes you have to call your own number, dialed voicemail, found the open hole, got out of bounds. Great job by Central State.
What a performance by Williams so far, stepping in, taking over for Frank Cosio, the junior who injured his ankle in last week's blowout loss to Fort Valley State. 2nd and 5. Saffold gets jumped. He got mauled by Matthew Kenty, the defensive end, the 6'2", 235 freshman out of Birmingham. He jumped on him like he stole something.
And he's a recent come-up from the practice squad, and you can see why. Came off the block almost untouched and able to make a play right at the line of scrimmage.
Loss of 1 on that play. 3rd down and 6. Trip wide receivers near side of the football field. They check the heads linesmen to make sure that they're behind the line of scrimmage. Under a minute to play, 36 seconds in the quarter. Williams rolls to his right, cocks his arm once, now recoils, and he will throw the football out of bounds to live for another day. Heads-up decision by Williams. Rather than take the loss, he threw the football away.
Rather than take the loss, as well as rather than throw it into double coverage. Throwing on the run, of course, he's not his most accurate, so it was a great job there, just throwing it away and living for another down. Better that than a turnover that usually doesn't end up well.
Central State will elect to punt the football. Isaiah Smith, number 41, the 6'1 senior out of Indianapolis, Indiana, comes in to punt it. Let's see if he tries to pooch kick it with just 28 seconds to play in the first quarter. 7-0 Tuskegee. High, end over end, and Petway calls for the fair catch at the 10-yard line.
Ladero Petway is one of the fastest players on the team. He had a couple of hiccups in the previous games by letting balls go too close to the end zone. And, of course, the punt team was able to recover it. That time he was able to get under it, call the fair catch, and so they could take the ball at the 10-yard line.
24-yard punt there by number 41, Isaiah Smith. He's got a couple of punts so far, 28 and 24 yards, but nice job getting the ball within the 10-yard line, which is where Tuskegee will start their 4th drive. First down and 10 from the 10-yard line. Ahmad Doremus up under center. He will hand to Tarian Taylor. Taylor moving the pile forward before being pushed back. There were a bunch of Marauders in on that tackle, but causing most of the havoc was number 95. That's Dante Marshall, the 6'4 junior out of Toledo, Ohio. And the clock strikes 0. That's the end of the first quarter of play with our score, Tuskegee 7, Central State nothing. We'll be back. You're watching SIAC Football on FloFootball. Welcome back, everybody. Second quarter action just underway. 2nd down and 8 for Tuskegee, moving from left to right in the I formation. They will hand the football off. Minimal gain there by Bright, Eric Bright Jr., number 27. No, correction. That was number 9 on the carry.
Phillip Brown.
Phillip Brown, thank you.
The 5'10 running back, or 5'10 junior from Bessemer, Alabama. Typically, they reserve Eric Bright for short yardage situations as he is a bigger back. Evante Patterson, Tarian Taylor, and Phillip Brown usually share time at the halfback position, while Eric Bright usually is around the fullback position.
3rd down, 7, shotgun formation. Doremus back to pass, near side of the field, looking for Petway. No, correction. Who is that? Number 19?
That was number 19.
DeVarens
Valson. In his first game. Go ahead.
Valson, the 5'9 junior from Lauderdale Lakes, Florida. It'll bring up 4th down. Ryan Duff will come in to do the punting honors.
Early in the year, Valson had a 99 kick return against the Alabama State Hornets.
Almost blocked it after that pressure. Brown back deep. And that kick punt goes up to, let's see where they mark it. Wow. 19-yard punt. That's not good.
That's not very good at all.
No. That's where Central State will take over the football nonetheless. Second quarter action just underway. 7-0 our score. Central State trying to get on the scoreboard. First and 10, 32-yard line of Tuskegee. Shotgun formation. Quarterback keeper by Williams. And Williams will barrel his way down to the 25-yard line. Ricky Norris, number 2, is the last man up from the pile. 6 yards on the gain, though. Second down and 4. Williams still in the shotgun. Got a man behind him. And hit immediately on that play is number 27. According to my roster sheet, that's Jerry Lanier, the senior running back out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Lanier standing next to Williams along his right, shotgun formation. Small gain on that play, third down. Call it 2 from the shotgun. Williams rolling off to his right, and he finds a receiver, and it's ruled a completion to number 6. That's Kevin Greenow. May have gotten away with a push over there along the far side of the football field, but nonetheless, it's a first down for Central State.
And typically when there's pushing and shoving on both sides, they're more lenient with those kind of calls, rather it be just one way, where the receiver's pushing or the corner's just pushing. It might have been both of them pushing.
That 10-yarder good enough for a first down and 10 at the 14-yard line of Tuskegee. Marauders with their deepest penetration as Lanier off the right side of the line, and he's near another first down. So a couple of big carries to the delight of the Central State coaching staff off to our left. And they're in hurry-up mode. Deepest penetrations thus far for the Central State offense. And they're ready to go on second down and 1. Near twin receivers, near side. They're going to hand it off to who is that? Was that Lanier or Saffold? Could not grab a number. Let's see. That's Lanier again. So he's getting a bulk of the carries right now. Makes one wonder what is going on with Terrarius Saffold. First and goal after the first down yardage. From the 3. Hand off to Lanier. Sweeping left side. And he is close, but no cigar. Down to about the 6-inch line. Give him a gain of 2. It'll bring up second down and goal. Central State in the red zone this year. They are 12 of 15. They've scored 9 touchdowns, 8 via the run. They'll try to run it in again here, I would presume. Darrell Williams up under center. Quarterback keeper, Williams, and he's in for the touchdown. No mystery there as they allow their best athlete on the offensive side of the football, quarterback Darrell Williams, to rush in for the touchdown. And so, after this extra point attempt by number 48, Joshua Nunez, the 5'9 freshman out of Port Lucie, if he can knock it through, it will tie our ball game at 7. Got to give credit to Central State for taking advantage of the short field. Nunez waiting. There's the snap, the hold, the kick. It's up, and it is through. And with 10 minutes and 53 seconds to play in the second quarter, our score, Tuskegee 7, Central State 7. Let's take time out. You're watching SIAC Football on Flo Sports. Welcome back, everybody. 7-7 our score. Tuskegee and Central State. Marauders just scored on a short drive, and now they will kick it off. Nunez will boot it down. Waiting there is Belson. Belson up to the 14, and he's going to stop right there.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. I mean, usually as a kickoff return, you want to go north and south. That time he went east to west. Not many yards gained there, but they're going to start with less than decent field position around the 15-yard line.
I think they were trying to set up a wedge along the left side, far side of the football field, but he couldn't make it over there. He went literally, as you mentioned, from one side of the field all the way to the other. I mean, he covered about 30 yards, though, just not
not positive yards.
Not straight. All right, so Tuskegee will come out again. They come out with some fervor, some pep in their step as they try to answer the bell. 7-7 our score, 10 minutes and 46 seconds to play in the half. Shotgun formation. DeRamus, the quarterback. He gives to the second man through. That's number 8.
Evante Patterson.
Patterson getting some work. The 5'11 sophomore out of the ATL.
Patterson is typically one of those power rushers. He likes to run over people, bowl over people. You saw him give somebody a stiff arm, and he likes to punish the defenders as he runs.
3 yards worth of punishment. It'll bring up second down and 7. Shotgun again. DeRamus will give again to Patterson. Patterson sweeping left. Oh, he loses the ball. That ball popped up in the air, but he may have been ruled down.
We're going to wait to see what the ref rules that. I think they ruled him down, like you said.
Holy Toledo.
That would have been a game changer.
Chris Lewis came up with the ball, but I believe they're saying that it was juggled, and he's ruled down. So it'll bring up third down. Ay, ay, ay. Tuskegee, as it relates to plus minus, they are -3 on the season. He'll make that -4 because they gave one up earlier in the game. Third down, 6 from the 19. DeRamus crossing patterns. Got a man. Oh, in and out of the hands.
A touchdown if he had the hands for it.
Kedrick Green, the 5'9 sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, went in and out of his hands, but nice football thrown there by Ahmad DeRamus, the 5'11 senior out of Gadsden, Alabama. Misconnection there.
That was a misconnection. I think the defense was trying to stop the run, and that time there was almost nobody guarding him. The safety was too far up, and if he could have put that on the money, that would have been a touchdown.
Delane Brown waiting back deep. There's another offward punt there. Gets a generous roll, though. End up being a 34-yard punt by number 37, Ryan Duff. Well, he does have sort of an excuse. I mean, the weather here it's kind of rough conditions here this afternoon. It's been raining now with a slight drizzle all morning long. So that field and that football very, very damp.
Very much so. All eyes on Ken Hike. He's guarding the number 1 receiver for the Marauders. He's got the speed. And we're going to see if the Marauders come out firing or if they come out running again, as that worked for them so well when they took advantage of the field position to get their first points of the game.
First down and 10 at the 44-yard line. Williams gives it to, who is that, Saffold? No, that was Lanier on the carry, number 27. Trying to scour the Central State sideline to see what is going on. Well, that was Terrence Saffold. With the wet conditions, the uniforms are a bit muddy.
Especially with the white.
And so that is Terrarius Saffold in the backfield. Second down after the 1-yard gain. Call it 9. Scrambling out to the right, and that football sails over the head of the intended receiver, and it will bring up third down. That went over the head of number 6, Kevin Greenow.
the 6'3" senior out of Columbus, Ohio. He's a very big target, and I'm actually surprised they haven't targeted him more often in this game.
Grayson Green checks in with a clean jersey, number 14. Trip wide receivers, top of the formation. 3rd down and 9 for Central State, looking to get on the scoreboard again. Under pressure is Williams. He's got time. Decides to keep the football, and he is swarmed under number 12. Nice play by Devorius Thomas. Coming up from his linebacker position, the senior out of Mobile, Alabama.
Great call there by Coach Carter from the defense, able to keep the quarterback under wraps. You saw he was looking for a lane to run, couldn't find anywhere, and the defensive pursuit was there, able to make the stop.
Loss of 4 on that play, and it brings up a 4th down. Number 41, Isaiah Smith, in to do the punting for Central State. He's already punted a couple of times, averaging 26 yards per punt. Fourth down from the 30, 44-yard line. That football was almost blocked, but the punter got ran into. Petway's got it at the 28-yard line, and down and writhing in pain is number 41, the punter. That's Isaiah Smith.
I mean, you have a defenseless punter right there, and of course, you would think that there would be a call, but of course, he was in the act of blocking the punt, just couldn't get there. His body can't change momentum, of course, as he dove, and that time he ran into the punter, but there is no call. He's writhing in pain.
There is no call because referee Ben Cole says that the football was deflected, and that would negate any type of contact.
Makes perfect sense to me.
And so there's a timeout on the floor as we address an injured player. Why don't we take this timeout, too? You're watching the SIAC on Flow Sports with our score, Tuskegee 7, Central State 7. We'll be right back. The punter, number 41, Isaiah Smith of Central State, is helped off of the field, and Tuskegee will take over the football. First out and 10 from their own 26-yard line. DeRamus, quarterback keeper, up to the 35-yard line, now 40, and out to the 42. That's a 15-yard carry by the senior out of Gadsden, Alabama.
Ahmad has a lot of great pocket awareness, and that's something he's been working on throughout the years, from being very paranoid into the pocket to be able to climb up the pocket and even find the running open lanes. That time he took off, and nice gain for a first down.
He's 75 of 150, 50% completion rating. But he uses his feet on that one to gain 15 yards. First down and 10 for Tuskegee at their own 42. Going left to right. Play action. DeRamus, far side of the field, and it's in and out of the hands of number 27, Eric Bright, the 5'10 redshirt senior out of Madison, Florida.
Now, he's as big as their tight end. So when he gets the ball, he is a freight train.
Had some room to work with, just couldn't corral that thing. It'll bring up second down and 10. So after jumping out to a 7-0 lead in the first quarter, the offense for Tuskegee is kind of gone silent. But that 15-yard scamper by Ahmad DeRamus has him going. All right, second down and 10. In the pocket, that pass is complete. Petway with the completion, but there's an injured Tuskegee Golden Tiger down on the turf. Let's see if he gets up. 14 yards on that connection, but writhing in pain on the ground. It looks like number 53. Let's see if I get a number. It's like one of those big offensive linemen. Number 63, Jalen West, the 6'2 junior out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He is down on the ground.
And that does not look good as he's holding his head and he's pointing towards his knee.
Well, let's hope he's all right. While we've got this moment, just a reminder that all eyes will be on the Eastern Division as the champions will earn the chance to host the 8th annual SIAC Football Championship. On November 16th, fans can visit www.thesiac.com for official conference and championship gear. Make sure you get your tickets today. And how about that on the Eastern side? They'll get an opportunity to host the championship this year. Savannah State, who came back to the conference, they presently lead the Eastern Division. All right, so they will help Jalen West off of the football field. They'll replace him, and action will get back underway after the 14-yard completion by the quarterback, Ahmad Doremus, to Petway. First down and 10 at the 46-yard line of Central State. 6 minutes, 25 seconds to play. Play action in the flat. That might be a lateral.
It is.
And
that counts as a rush.
Let's see what happens there. It was intended for Patterson, but he threw that ball behind the line of scrimmage, if I'm not mistaken, which makes that a live ball. And they're going to call it a 6-yard loss. The ball being placed at the 48-yard line.
And something you might think Ahmad needs to work on is his delivery. A lot of underthrown balls that we've seen in this game. And for the Marauders, it's actually the opposite. A lot of overthrown balls. So we're going to see how this passing game can really get into fruition as they're hurrying to the line with 5 seconds.
Play clock winding down. 3, 2, 1. Just barely got it off. Second down and 16. Doremus, far side of the field. Petway stops. Almost stops on a dime. But it is complete. What a reception there. Call it a gain of 13 yards. Doremus to Petway. Petway was going to catch that ball, stop on a dime, and try to bring it back inside, but lost his footing.
Well, Petway is very, very good when it comes to body control. He's smaller, and he is very versatile, can change directions quickly. That time he couldn't really stop himself, fell out of bounds. 13-yard
pass play brings up 3rd down and 3 from the Central State 39-yard line. Shotgun formation. Waiting is the quarterback, Doremus. Play action twice, quarterback keeper, and he gets ran roughshod. They do him dirty. Number 5, the first guy on the scene, Kalen Abrams, the all-SIAC performer, 6'2", 220 pounds out of Detroit, Michigan.
Well, when you're a run-heavy team like that and you get a veer, you often want to run away from the other running back because the play action draws the defense one way, and he went the same way as the running back, so the defenses were already coming, and that time there was nowhere for him to go.
Ryan Duff will do the punting for Tuskegee. Delane Brown standing at his 10-yard line. There's snap, the punt, sailing down, and wow. He hit that pitching wedge down to the 5-yard line, and it stuck and kind of spun back towards the hole.
And that's just a great punt. I mean, I don't even know what to say about that. That was just a great punt.
36-yard effort by Duff.
And Craig Copeland was there to down the ball, the redshirt sophomore out of Weaver, Alabama.
Oh, wow. You know, that did look like a pitching wedge as it hit the soft turf and rolled back. That's what you want as a golfer. You know that, right, Brian? You know that, right, Brian? You're supposed to just say, yes, I know that. All right, first down and 10 for Central State at the 6-yard line. Pass down, and it is caught. What a reception. Holy cow.
I mean, that was a great reception there. He threw it right over his shoulder where nobody can get it. Able to complete that pass and pick up some nice yards.
Kevin Greenow on the reception. 27-yard reception, and it's first down and 10 for Central State at their own 32-yard line with 3 minutes and 39 seconds to play in the first half. They will now look towards the bench as they will switch the play up. And because of that, Kevin Hite Jr., the defensive back, will change his location. Zaffold sweeping towards the right, and he is cut under after a short gain. Number 2, Ricky Norris on the scene. We'll give him a gain of maybe 2 yards. Second down and 8. Twin wide receivers to the near side of the football field. Brown, Greenow, shotgun, Williams, Saffold to the right. Up near the 40-yard line is pushed into the Tuskegee bench, and they're going to call a flag on that one. And so you can tack some more yardage onto that carry.
Yeah, I call that some extracurricular activity. He was already out of bounds. I mean, I know the pursuit was there, but there was just no need to push him again.
And that will give Central State an automatic first down after the penalty is assessed. And speaking of first downs, Central State, they average about 17 first downs per ball game. But they're going to get a freebie there after they, well, at least it looked from this vantage point like they worked over Terrarius Saffold. Despite the rain, a very lively crowd here at Tuskegee. The fans are into it. As we wait for referee Ben Cole to deliver the message. And here he goes. No. Now he's going to get some affirmation. Come on, Ben.
After the play, personal foul, lay hit out of bounds. Defense, number 2, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So after the 5-yard carry, which got to the 40, they're going to tack on another 15 yards. So Central State has it first down and 10 in Tuskegee territory. Moving from right to left with 2:45 to play. 7-7 our score. Shotgun formation for Williams. Moving to the right. Now he's got a man. It looks like Brown. Brown goes up. Brown goes down, as well as the football.
That was almost intercepted by Carl Matthews, who had some interceptions against Kentucky State and made a name for himself that game with the game-winning interception. That time he could not grab a hold of that one, and that's going to fall incomplete.
Matthews, the 6'1 senior out of Birmingham, Alabama. Second down and 10 with 2:34 to play in the half. I'm venturing to guess that Darrell Williams is trying to strike deep. I think they're trying to go over the top to either wide receiver out wide. Saffold in the backfield. Here's Williams. Crossing pattern. There it is right there. It's complete to Brown down to the 28-yard line.
And that's
18-yard pass play. Well, let's see where they mark it now. Correction, let's move that back. That is going to be a 14-yard pass play. First down and 10 for Central State at the Tuskegee 31-yard line. 2:14 to play. Shotgun formation. Now they'll reset and get the play from the sidelines. Single receiver sets to either side. Saffold is swarmed under by the freshman. Andre Auguste, the first guy on the scene, the defensive tackle out of Miami, Florida, the first guy to greet him.
Shedding blocks is something that the defensive line is so good at, and they keep a nice rotation coming in so that there's, not a lot of fatigue on the line. And that time, a fresh face coming in. We talked about him earlier, the freshman coming in, making a stop, Andre Auguste.
Second down, 11, loss of 1 on the play. Football at the 32-yard line of Tuskegee. Williams waiting again in the shotgun. Back to pass, going for the downs.
That might be some
and
laundry on the field.
They're going to call a flag on that play.
Well, the wide receiver pushed the cornerback, but the cornerback was kind of leading him to the left. I don't know if there was some.
Well, Kevin Greenow, when he saw the football in the air, he tried to adjust his route because the football was delivered to the outside. And when he tried to adjust, his path was impeded by the Tuskegee defender, and as a result, the flag came out. Tuskegee, coming into the game, the 6th most penalized team in the conference, 50 penalties in 6 games coming in.
And that's just due to a lot, in part was their fault. I mean, a lot of mistakes could have been, of course, avoided. Golden Tigers have, of course, improved on that, but that time they fall victim to it again.
1 minute, 19 seconds to play in the half. Bunch wide receiver set to the right, but they've only got one guy out there covering 3 people. Are they going to adjust?
They're in a zone. Might be a screenplay. Take advantage of this.
First down, 10.
Read option.
Williams on the keeper. Down to the 15 and run out of bounds through a puddle of water and onto the track. Also on the track, waiting their turn, the Tuskegee Crimson Piper Marching Band. They will entertain during our halftime, which is 1 minute and 15 seconds away. Second down at 8 at the 15 of Tuskegee. Darrell Williams will wait in the shotgun formation. Saffold off to his left. Ooh, he might have twisted his ankle on that play. Williams lost his footing, and now he flicks it up, and it is intercepted. Big play there by number 12.
DeForest Thomas, the senior, making the play there off the tip ball. Great awareness there, able to dive down and grab that ball.
But it looks like it may be coming back. Ben Cole and the center judge Frank Trevino, they have a conversation at the 25-yard line, as well as the umpire, Richmond Williams, joining the conversation. 1 minute and 6 seconds to play, and let's see what they're going to rule. Central State players are pointing in their direction. They feel as though they still have the football. Are they calling a personal foul on this play? Let's see for Bill Cole. Personal foul.
Look for the quarterback. Defense, number 41. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Maybe some youthful exuberance on number 41, Andre Augustus' part, the freshman defensive tackle out of Miami, Florida, because that's who they nailed for the penalty. On that play, the quarterback, Williams, he sort of crumbled over a little bit because of his ankle. I think he lost footing and briefly twisted his ankle, but had the wherewithal to try to flick the football down to Saffold, but they caught a break there because it was intercepted.
At that time, he was trying to make a play and couldn't find anybody open there. That really could have been avoided that time, but they lucked out with that call.
First down and 10 for Central State. They are once again inside the red zone. They are 13 of 16 inside the red zone. They've scored 9 touchdowns via the run, and they've passed 1. So if I'm a betting man here, I'm going to say they're going to stick with what has worked, and they're going to rush the football, maybe trying to get it into the hands of Terrarius Saffold, maybe off to the left-hand side. Let's see how they play it here. They're going to give it to Saffold. Saffold sweeping, and he's going to be cut down before gaining a minimum gain. A host of Tuskegee players there to cut him off, including number 13, Callie James.
His jersey is dirtier than anybody else's jersey.
Nobody's.
But, of course, they're going to try to run some clock down, of course, and come away with points, not let the Golden Tigers get another possession. Of course, you don't want anything to happen.
And that's why they'll be content on rushing the football again on this second and goal occasion. Second and goal from the 8. He lost it up in the air, and it's going to be in and out of their hands, intended for Brown, number 1, the 6'3" out of Youngstown, Ohio. Williams threw the jump ball up, but equal to the task was number 7, Ken Hike Jr. on the defense.
And Ken Hike Jr. has really worked his way up the depth chart through the years, and he's our number one corner. Golden Tigers able to stop that. Of course, Ken Hike was there on the coverage, and it was a great job there defensively by the Golden Tigers.
Third down for Central State. They have their hands up there waiting to play. Some confusion now. Play clock has only 4 seconds on it, and Central State is forced to call a timeout. There's a timeout on the field. Let's take a quick timeout, too, with our score. Tuskegee 7, Central 7. You're watching SIAC Football on Flo Sports. .23 seconds remaining in the half. Central State trying to get in on the scoreboard. It's 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line of Tuskegee. Darrell Williams waiting in the shotgun for the football. There's the snap. He throws to the near side of the field, and it's incomplete. And it brings up 4th down on the play. Decision time for head coach Cedric Pearl and this Central State offense. Let's see if they try to kick a field goal. Joshua Nunez will step out and attempt it. Nunez ranks 10th in field goal percentage. He's made 3 of 7 field goals so far this season, and he will attempt a 25-yarder right now. Steady rain coming down. There's the snap. Kick is going to be blocked. It's blocked. It's blocked. Looks like number 96, or was that Henderson? Want to say number 95, David Henderson came up with the big block.
Yeah.
Stuck that paw up there, and now make it 3 for 8 on the season for Joshua Nunez. Looked like everything was good, like the snap was good, the hole was good, but the kick simply got blocked. And now with just 13 ticks of the clock remaining,
they're going to take a knee.
Tuskegee will settle for just running out the clock. 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7.
7 seconds remaining.
And that's going to do it for the first half of play.
We're on time.
With our score, Tuskegee 7, Central State 7. Coming up next, make sure you stick around for the Tuskegee Crimson Piper Marching Band. You're watching SIAC Football on Flo Sports.
But these next ladies, you will always remember. So enjoy from the stands as the Crimson Piperettes take you to Boogie Wonderland. The Crimson Piperettes, ladies and gentlemen. Cutting just like a knife. Watch now as these bands come to life in the form of Lafayette High School, Booker T. Washington High School, along with the Pipers, giving you what you came here for about the terror the Alumni Bowl stands for. Well, ladies and gentlemen, give a hand to our high school dancers and high school bandsmen. This is not a quiz, it's strictly square biz. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a round of applause to our high school dancers, Lafayette High School and Booker T. Washington High School. And now the band is strutting their stuff. Come on, high school, let's get with the Pipers and do your stuff. Comes the time for you to strut. Come on, get down with the Pipers and high schoolers and do the butt. gentlemen, hope you're enjoying this joint production of collegiate bandsmen and high school bandsmen, many of whom will attend Tuskegee University. This concludes our band aid, high school band aid. The band is under the direction of John Q. Leonard, Director of Band. Miss Lydia Yeo Floyd, Director of Band, Tuskegee Washington High School. Mr. Michael Floyd, the Fayette High School. And Mr. Leonard's capable staff. Your announcer, Jagady Kroger. One more hand for this Band-Aid, high school Band-Aid.
And welcome back to SIAC Football on Flow Sports. We are here at Tuskegee where our halftime score 7-7, Central State and Tuskegee. Hope you're enjoying today's stream. Both teams got on the board. Torian Taylor reeled off a 48-yard touchdown. And then quarterback Darrell Williams for Central State scored on their lawn score on a quarterback sneak. And that's where we are, 7-7. And Brian, what was your observations of that first half?
A lot of mental mistakes being made on both sides of the ball. Of course, they're both in the pistol, so run-heavy offenses for both of them. The Golden Tigers really need to step up in the running game. Tarian Taylor had a nice burst, but have been very quiet since. And the Marauders have been trying to get their passing game going, but to no avail. So we're going to see how the Golden Tigers can adjust and if they can incorporate some more passing in this, as they did have early success.
Joshua Nunez set to kick it off for Central State as third quarter action is moments away. Taken at the 15-yard line, up to the 30, and down at the 33-yard line is number 24 on the return, DeLon Conway, the 5'9 freshman out of Locust Grove, Georgia. 18 yards on that return, and Tuskegee will start their drive to begin the third quarter, 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
So Ahmad Duramus coming back again for another run. He's got Eric Bright beside him. We're going to see if they can incorporate some more running backs. They had a nice play-action passing game going. So
Taylor, the second man through, sweeping to the left-hand side, but there is a flag down, and he gets rustled out of bounds on the far side of the football field. First on the scene for Central was number 21, Devon Cunningham, the 6-foot senior out of Mobile, Alabama. Did I say Mobile? Mobile.
Mobile.
Offense, number 85, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Mobile, Alabama. Wow. Holding on the play, so they'll move him back 10 yards. And Central State, they get a nice little break there. 1st and 20 from the 23 for the Golden Tigers, moving left to right, dressed in their burgundy jerseys, white numerals left to right. Shotgun formation. The quarterback, Ahmad Duramus, on that keeper. Looks like the football is loose. I believe the football is loose. Let's see. Isn't the football loose? No call yet. Let's see if Tuskegee will retain possession with the football. Down at the 7-yard line is number 4. Quante Stanley is saying, look, I got it. But let's see how they rule it. They'll have a boardroom meeting at the 27-yard line. Ben Cole presiding. And the Marauders are exuberant. Meanwhile, their head coach is saying, get off the field. And they rule it first down, Central State. So there you heard the call from Ben Cole. Third turnover, and I guess some unpleasantries were shared that the officials heard, and they're going to throw another flag, and you might have to tag on 15 yards on this one for unsportsmanlike conduct. Let's see how Ben Cole rules it.
There was a pancake block that started it all by the offensive lineman Nathan Harrison, and, of course, the defender didn't like that as they thought the play was dead. There was a scruffle for the ball, and some words were said in that interaction.
Speaking of words, here comes Ben Cole with the call.
After the play, dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, Tuskegee, number 74, pass the distance to the goal.
That's going to be on Martise Patterson, the senior out of Columbus, Ohio, the transfer from Purdue University.
Ill-advised penalty there. And it's going to bring up first down and a quarter mile. I'm sorry, first out and 10. I'm ahead of myself
Almost
here.
First and goal.
Almost. Central with the football, 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Jet sweep. Cut off there, and finally going down. Gang tackled.
That's number 6, Brandon Roberts, making the stop for the Golden Tigers.
Trying to pick up a number on who carried that football.
I think that was Greenhow.
number 6. That's why you said number 6 and you said Brandon Roberts.
Well, they both, I think Brandon Roberts tackled Greenhow. The safety came up and made the tackle.
Gotcha. Greenhow on the carry, number 6. Roberts on the tackle, number 6. Loss of 3 on the play, 2nd and 13. Saffold trying the left side. He gets twisted up in the mixer. Number 7, that's Kenny Hike, the senior out of Decatur, coming up from his defensive back position to make the stop. For the most part today, the leading rusher and all-purpose yardage guy in Terrarius Saffold, he's pretty much been kept in check this afternoon.
Yeah, they put a big emphasis on stopping the run, and you've seen them do it all game. The Golden Tigers have really come alive, that defense.
No gain on that last play by Saffold. 3rd down and 13. Trip wide receivers to the top of the formation, looking for the corner, looking for the tight end, and that football is batted away at the last minute. Wow, what a play
Ken
there.
Hike again. Was that their 4th target to him alone?
They obviously have not learned their lesson because they continue to try to target him. Intended on that play was Robert Corbin Jr., the 6'2" junior out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He was the intended receiver. So go ahead.
I was going to say Ken Hike is only 6'1" up against a 6'3" receiver, so they think they have the height advantage, but Ken Hike is playing bigger than his size.
Nunez in for a 33-yard field goal attempt. He missed one earlier. And the play is going to be whistled down before he gets it off, and fortunately for him, it was flagged down. Rough go so far. They're going to nab Maurice Brandy on that penalty, and it's going to move him back 5 yards. And it's going to make this a 38-yard field goal attempt by Nunez. He missed one earlier, you remember. Remember, David Henderson also blocked it. There's the snap, the hold a little high. There's the place, the kick. It's up, and it is through the uprights. So how about that? Nunez converts. The 5'9" freshman from Port Lucie gives Central State a 10-7 lead with 12:49 to play in the 3rd quarter. There's a timeout on the field. Let's take a timeout, too. You're watching SIAC Football on Flo Sports. And welcome back to today's stream on Flo Sports. Dwayne Walker along with Brian McCullough. 12:49 to play in the 3rd quarter. Central State just took a 10-7 lead after a 37-yard field goal by Nunez. Joshua Nunez. There's the kick, taken at the 18-yard line. Coming back the other way, that's number 24, Dejon Conway, the freshman out of Locust Grove, Georgia. And he returns the football up to the, let's see where they're going to mark it.
I think I see a flag on the field.
There is a flag down on the field.
Well, I don't know if it's a flag. She just threw it to the other ref.
Monique Washington. I think Monique Washington put the flag down to indicate something. Here's Cole.
There's no flag on the play. First down, Tuskegee.
She put it down and picked it up, so.
18 yards on that return. Tuskegee will start their drive 1st down and 10 at their own 41-yard line, looking to answer the bell after that 37-yard field goal by Joshua Nunez. Quarterback Ahmad Doremus back in the pocket. He has a lot of room on the left if he decides to run. 40, 45, midfield, 45, cutting back, and finally he is tripped up at the 44-yard line. Finally, as number 27, Jerry, let's see what number he had on that. I want to say it was 27, who just tripped him up. Actually, that was number 17, not 27. Don't have a 17 on my sheet. Nonetheless, big play there by Doremus. Now Tarian Taylor on the carry. And Taylor gets it, maybe give him 3 yards. So Tuskegee making their move. After the 18-yard scamper by Ahmad Doremus and a 3-yard carry by Tarian Taylor, it's 2nd down and 7 at the Central State 40-yard line. Shotgun formation, or pistol if you will. Doremus gives to Taylor, left side, down to the 35, 30, 25, and finally corralled down near the 20-yard line. Sizable gain on that play.
And you just give Tarian Taylor just a little bit of space. He'll make a move, make a defender miss. And if it's a DB, he might try to truck him, despite his small stature.
Devon Cunningham made a nice tackle on that play, but 14 yards on the gain. 1st down and 10 for Tuskegee at the Central State 25-yard line. Taylor bangs his way down close to the 22. Gain of about 3. Go ahead, Brian.
I was going to say might be a pickup about 3. Tried to find find a little wiggle room there, but none was there. Great job by the Marauders crashing in and giving him no room to run.
The rain is blowing sideways inside of Alumni Stadium. Doremus, options to the left to Taylor, and Taylor finds no running room on the far side of the football field. He was snuffed out over there by Quante Stanley, the 6-foot sophomore out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
And that's what happens when you stay home. The defensive end able to stay home, take the outside angle, him the quarterback in, and the DB coming up and giving the running back nowhere to go.
Precisely 10 minutes to play in the third quarter. 10-7 our score. Central State leads it by 3, but Tuskegee is threatening. They're moving from left to right. They've got a 3rd down forthcoming. 3rd down, call it 10 from the 25-yard line of Central State. Shotgun formation again. Low snap. Doremus with it. Now scramble to his left. He's got a lot of room. Down to the 20. Looking for that 1st down marker, and he's got it. That extra effort enabled him to get the 1st down to the chagrin of the Central State defenders. Number 10, Chris Lewis, was over there to hem him up, but not before an 11-yard carry and another 1st down for Tuskegee. 1st down and 10 at the Central State 13-yard line. Up under center now is Doremus. He gives the second man through. That's Taylor off the left side. Scrambling around down to the 5 near the goal line, but there is a flag down, and the preliminary indication would be holding against the offense. Let's wait and see.
Came from the line judge. You can almost guarantee that it's going to be a holding call off the left tackle most likely. But Tarian Taylor, that was a nice run, but it might be off or not.
Let's see how they rule it. They give it to big number 74. There's your guy again, Martise Patterson, the 6-foot, 320-pounder out of Columbus, Ohio. And for Tuskegee, these penalties are starting to mount up. They were the 6th most penalized team, as I mentioned before, that has cost them 85 yards per game in penalties. 1st down, we'll call it 20 at the 23. Doremus under pressure. Tosses the football errantly, just trying to get out of the grasp of the Central State defender.
That there was a screenplay that did not go the way it was intended to go. Fleshed out the pocket, couldn't find his running back. The linemen were setting up their blocks, but he couldn't get it to his running back.
Under extreme pressure by Dante Marshall, the 6'4 junior out of Toledo. And it's going to bring forth a second down and 20. Let's see how they play it. I'm predicting a deep ball here. Let's see. Trip wide receivers near side of the football field. Doremus waiting in the shotgun. There's the snap. Doremus back to pass. He's got a man on the flat. If he throws it, he's going to keep it. Up to the 20. Dodges one man. Down to the 15. And he gets side swindled down at about the 14-yard line. He was met rudely. Number 99 on the play with a big hit.
Christian Lassiter, the senior out of Cleveland, Ohio, making that hit for Doremus. Doremus trying to find some wiggle room, and if it wasn't for that penalty, it might as well have been a first down.
And speaking of penalties, here comes another one from Ben Cole.
So that's going to be on Nathan Harrison, the offensive lineman, only 6'2". I talked about him earlier, had that pancake block on his lineman. They're going to decline that and let the Golden Tigers work from, say, about the 15-yard line.
8 minutes and 18 seconds to play in the third quarter. Ben Cole, the referee, will whistle the play down here for a second. All right, now he blows his whistle. Play clock's down to 23. Here we go. Tuskegee has it. Third down. Call it 12 from the 15-yard line. Twin receivers near side of the football field and at the top of the formation. Shotgun formation. Doremus angles towards the end zone, and the ball is incomplete, but there is a flag down intended for number 12. That's Steve Hodges, the 6'1 junior out of Montgomery. But wait a minute, the flag came down, and most likely pass interference.
He swiped at the feet of the receiver, so, of course, that interfered with his ability to cast the pass, so most likely we're looking at a pass interference.
Now they're deciding where they're going to mark the football after the penalty. Here's referee Ben Cole with the call.
Pass interference. Defense, number 26. Foul occurred in the end zone by rule. Ball was placed at the 2-yard line. First down, Tuskegee.
Well, there you have it. First down and goal from the 2 for Tuskegee.
And I'm going to be that guy for a second. If you're looking at what just happened, I would take that if I was a coach, because you just saved you saved a touchdown, of course. So, the Marauders will take that. Of course, you don't want to be in that situation, first and foremost. But if you have to, I would rather have that penalty than a touchdown.
Red zone situation for Tuskegee. They came into the game 11 of 17, 65%. They've got it now. Terrion Taylor skips to the loo near the goal line, but no indication yet. So he's going to be short.
And this is coming down out there.
And it's coming down sideways. I will say this, Brian, despite all of the wet conditions, for the most part, it's been a pretty clean game.
It has.
Second and goal from the 1. Doremus loses the football, but he recovers it quickly back around the 4-yard line. So I may have put the whammy on him, talking about how clean the game has been, because instantaneously Doremus fumbles the snap.
And I would say you jinxed it. It's the second fumble of the game.
All right, it brings up third down. Third down and goal for Tuskegee. This team ranks 34%, ranks 7th in the SIC conference on third downs. Eric Bright Jr. on the carry, minimal gain, and the Central State defenders are pumped up by that stop.
Now, don't be surprised if you see Slater go for it in this instance.
I think on that carry, it's a 2-for-1 situation where they knew they were going to go for it on fourth down and just trying to get as close to the goal line as possible.
And you see the offense staying out there on the field, waiting for the signals.
It looks like they're going to attempt a field goal here on fourth down.
Yep.
Let's see if that's the case. Is Ryan Duff in there?
Yes, he is.
I was only saying Ryan Duff so I wouldn't have to pronounce.
So
I would not have to pronounce our guy, Huskich Arnez.
There we
It's
go.
a fake. Ahmed Doremus gets cut down under, and the Central State defense makes a big play.
Now, I don't think they got the memo in that instance because if you take a look at the replay, nobody was there to even try to, be there for the ball. So that was just miscommunication there by the Golden Tigers. Nobody, it looked like he was rolling out to his left looking for a receiver. Nobody ran out. Everybody was blocking, so he had nowhere to go with the football.
Well, nonetheless, they dab fives on the Central State sideline, and their offense will take over the football 1st and 10. Now, granted, deep in their own territory, 1st down and 10 from the 5-yard line. 5 minutes, 55 seconds to play in the third quarter. Central State leads it by a score of 10-7, and they have the football. Darrell Williams hands the football off, and Russell to the ground is our guy there. Saffold, Terraris Saffold. Short gain there. Give him 2. 2nd and 8. I'm going to give him 3 on that. 2nd and 7. Shotgun formation again. Single wide receiver sets to the top and low side of the formation. Terrarius Saffold waits. He gets the snap up the gut, and he's going to be
suplex,
hog-tied. What a play there.
The number 41.
Yes, sir. There's that freshman again who we've talked earlier about, who's played some inspirational football, Andre August, the freshman defensive tackle out of Miami, Florida. No gain on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7 from the 8. Trip wide receivers to the top of the formation. Delaney Brown, the near side receiver. Let's see if they try to hike. They hike the football. They give it to Saffold, and he's got no running room whatsoever.
That's the leading tackler, Ricky Norris, the 5'9 giant linebacker out of Daytona Beach, Florida, making the stop there. Bringing up a 4th down. That was a great job by the defense. That was an organized blitz. Of course, they had Ricky Norris come in, and he came in untouched, able to sniff that one out, bring up a 4th down.
No doubt about it. Ricky Norris, 3rd in the conference in tackles, 1st on his own team, but he also has 1.5 sacks on the season. All right, punting situation. 4th down from the 5. Petway waiting at the 40. Taken there at the 35. Petway, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. One man to beat. 5. Petway.
They're going to rule it.
Touchdown! Touchdown! Touchdown, Tuskegee Golden Tigers. 35-yard return by Ladero Petway, the 5'9 redshirt sophomore out of Spanish Forest, Alabama.
And that extension over the line allowed him to get in. He was actually being tackled, but he actually broke the plane. You see there on the replay, and that was just a great job there by Petway, seeing a seam and just, making a play.
Huskich Arnez in for the extra point attempt. Spot, the hold, it's up, and it is through the uprights. And lightning strikes, so to speak, as
see what you did there.
As Ladero Petway's 35-yard punt return gives Tuskegee a 14-10 lead over Central State. There's a timeout on the field. Let's take 1-2. You're watching SIAC Football on Flow Sports. And welcome back, everybody, to a rainy Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium in Tuskegee, Alabama, where the Golden Tigers have just taken a 14-10 lead over Central State. And I got to tell you, despite the rain, which is blowing sideways right now, it's been a very festive crowd. Had an opportunity to mix it up, Brian, with a couple of our dignitaries here. basketball coach, Coach Powell, was in the building. Had some pleasant conversations with her. She's got some recruits here, but I got to tell you, if I'm a recruit and I'm coming today, I'm feeling it. I like the exuberance. I love it.
The energy is there, backed by the band and the fans still in this rainy thing, giving the Golden Tigers a lot of energy.
Tuskegee kick is taken by Saffold at the 5. Up to the 10, 15, 20, 25, still on his feet. And he will battle his way up to the 32-yard line. So 17 yards on that return by Saffold. Credit number 48 on that tackle, Xavier Freelow. Is that how you pronounce it? Xavier Freelow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, a broken clock's right twice a day. Central State has it, first down and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Let's see if they can answer the call. They trail by 4. It was a 7-7 tie heading into the third quarter. Williams on the quarterback keeper, around the outside to the right, being chased down and finally ran out of bounds, and he's going to lose about 3 on that carry.
And if you're the Golden Tigers, you really want to be aggressive in this instant because, you have the lead right now. You've lost the lead so many times in other games. You've learned from your mistakes. You really want to be aggressive here and force them to do what they're uncomfortable doing, which is passing the ball, as their run game has seemed to be a dominance thing that they're used to doing.
Andre August did a nice job of chasing the quarterback down in Darrell Williams. Twin receivers near side of the field. Darrell Williams will roll out to the left. He'll find Brown in and out of the hands of Brown, and both he and Height go at it. They call that slap boxing. And now they'll jaw back at one another. But I still like the enthusiasm as both teams, like I said before, they're into this contest despite the adverse rainy and windy conditions.
That time, Kenak was playing off of his receiver, tried to make a ball as he was playing zone, reading the eyes of the quarterback, tried to make a break on it. The ball was actually incomplete, tried to make sure his receiver couldn't catch it, and some extra activities are there.
4 seconds left on the play clock. They've got to hurry. 3, 2, 1. And they're going to be forced to call timeout. So, Coach Pearl, in his 6th season on that Central State sideline, looked a little unorganized right there, not sure what they wanted to do. Now, I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that Coach Cedric Pearl began his career at Tuskegee in the early 90s as a graduate assistant. In his 6th season at Central State, and has really, for all intents and purposes, has turned that program around. They were 5-5 last season, which represents their best season in quite some time. And while I have this opportunity, the SIAC has led the NCAA Division II in home football attendance for 16 consecutive years and 27 of the last 29. And speaking of 29s, that's where Central State has the football. Where's that? The 28. The 28-yard line, 3rd down and 13. Williams in the shotgun, fires the football, and it's intercepted. It's picked off at the 45-yard line, coming back the other way.
That's Carl Matthews.
Ball was.
Go ahead.
You got it.
Number 3, Carl Matthews, the 6'1 senior from Birmingham, Alabama. Nice read there, able to step up, make the pick. And the Golden Tigers are cooking as Tuskegee has that hump.
All right, so another momentum shift as Tuskegee has the football after the 15-yard interception return by Carl Matthews.
Golden Tiger defense playing aggressive on all cylinders. You saw the defensive front and the secondary both there, able to force a turnover.
9th interception this year for the Golden Tigers as a team.
And that's his 2nd interception of the year. His first one, of course, being to Kentucky State, like I mentioned earlier.
You did mention that earlier.
I did.
2 minutes and 14 seconds to play. Second down, and we'll call it 10 from the 31-yard line. We'll call it the 30. Coming up on 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Twin receivers set near side of the football field. Shotgun formation. Here comes DeRamus. Sweeping to his right. Reverse action to Stephen Hodges. Hodges has an option pass. Wide open down the field. It's Peyton Ramsey. And he drops it. Oh, he pulled a Jackie Smith.
They pulled the Philly sweep out of the playbook. Had the whole defense shifted up. Nobody was there. Underthrew the ball in these conditions. And that's a drop pass.
Wow.
He could not have been more open on that play.
If you're a Cowboy fan, you remember Jackie Smith dropping a wide-open touchdown. There's a few I could pull out of the old archive, but wow.
They're gonna take advantage of the offsides call, I believe, as they do move up 5 yards.
And Peyton Ramsey has been kind of quiet in this game coming in. He had 18 receptions for 294 yards and 4 touchdowns, and he gave away one right there.
And that's something they wish they had back. I mean, you don't get many opportunities like those.
2nd and 7. DeRamus throws the football wisely to no one rather than take a loss, and it'll bring up third down. Minute 42 to play in the third quarter. The Tuskegee Golden Tigers, they flipped on that switch.
They for surely did. They had their running game in their pocket, decided to go for the pass. I'm still hung up on that play. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's all good. Third down, 6. DeRamus looks left, looks right. Now you'll decide to run. 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, and he slides into second base down to the 14-yard line.
Most importantly, he picked up a first down there. Nobody was open. Instead of forcing it into some coverage, he decided to call his own number that time. And that's why you get a mobile quarterback. That's why Slater's so hung up on the mobile quarterbacks, because they can extend plays with their feet, just like that one right there.
14 yards on that quarterback keeper, and it brings up a first down. Football's at the 16-yard line for Tuskegee, and they're threatening with 1 minute to play in the third quarter. Bright and Taylor standing alongside the quarterback. There's Taylor. Taylor down to the 13, maybe the 12, and he's running with positive force. Let's see where they mark that football. From my vantage point, the 13-yard line. Give them 3, second down and 7. Tuskegee, they're in the red zone. Mentioned this before, the team ranks next to last in red zone efficiency, coming in at 65% scoring. They had only 6 running touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns.
And there's a timeout called by DeRamus as they're going to go to the sideline. So we're going to take one with them. You're watching the SIC Network.
$14 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Second down and 7 after the timeout by Tuskegee. Twin wide receivers to the near side of the football field, Hodges and Pedway. Top side is Peyton Ramsey. DeRamus got time. He's going to keep the football. Maybe he won't. He's going to throw it for the end zone. He's got a man, and it's in and out of the hands of Stephen Hodges. Another drop football by a Tuskegee wide receiver. First it was Ramsey, and this time it was Stephen Hodges.
And Hodges is probably has some of the best hands on this team. It's rare to see him drop something like that. But, of course, in these conditions, you see how hard it is to get a grip on the football.
Well, it brings up a crucial down here for Tuskegee. Now, if I'm Coach Slater, Either way, I want to get points out of this, and I might even settle for kicking the field goal.
And they're calling another timeout.
If fourth down came up, and they will expend another timeout rather than letting the play clock run out. And why don't we timeout against Tuskegee, and why don't we keep it right here? Want to thank everybody for tuning in to today's live stream on Flow Sports. It's sweeping the nation as far as live streaming is concerned, and Flow Sports is on the cutting edge of innovation. Also, I'd like to remind our viewers that SIAC schools rank amongst the top HBCUs as ranked by U.S. News Best HBCUs report. 5 ticks of the clock remaining. The Tuskegee offense comes back onto the field. Let's see what Coach Slater and this offense has whipped up. Bright is to the right of DeRamus, along with Kenny Gant. DeRamus calls his own number, sidesteps one man, gets out of the 5, and he's got the first down. Yes, sir. Give him 9 yards on the carry, but enough for a Tuskegee first down, and that is the end of the third quarter play with our score, the Tuskegee Golden Tigers 10, the Central State Marauders 10. You're watching SIAC Football on Flow Sports. Fourth quarter action, moments away. As play resumes, Tuskegee has the football, first down and goal at the 3-yard line. Gant and Bright in the backfield. DeRamus scrambles out to his right. He may keep the football. Let's see if he does. Looking for running room. He can't get it. He is tripped up behind. There's a loss on that play. Tripped up there by number 4. Quante Stanley, the sophomore linebacker out of Cincinnati, Ohio. And they're going to mark the football back at the 8-yard line, so we'll call it a loss of 5. We entered the second half of play knotted at 7. Tuskegee scored 7, and Central State added a field goal. That's where we're at. Second and goal from the 8-yard line. Low snap, but the play is going to be whistled dead.
Yeah, it might be a false start.
And we're going to be called illegal procedure against the offense. And that's going to march him back 5 yards. Here's Ben Cole with the official call.
I called it.
Like I said earlier, broken clock's right twice a day. So to bring up a second and goal from the 13-yard line.
And they're going in the wrong direction.
See if they can right the ship. We've got a couple of fresh jerseys in there. Kenny Gant, the 6-footer out of Tampa, Florida, the senior's in the ball game. Standing behind quarterback Ahmad DeRamus. He's the deep guy. Eric Bright off to the left as well. DeRamus, play action. In the end zone's got a man, and it's caught for a touchdown. Number 1, Peyton Ramsey. the senior out of McCalla, Alabama, catches his 5th touchdown of the campaign, and that puts Tuskegee up by a score of 20-10.
Taking a look at that replay, that was a great job diagnosing the defense. Ahmad finding the open man. That was Peyton Ramsey in there for the touchdown. And the Golden Tigers, they're cooking with gas.
Yes, they are. And for quarterback Ahmad Duramus, that's his 3rd touchdown pass of the campaign. That one put his team up 20 and now 21-0. It's good, and it should stay. There is a flag down, but it looked as though that left side of the Central State defense jumped the gun, and if that's the case, they'll decline the penalty, and it'll be 21-10.
And you're right there. The penalty is declined. That will stand 21-10.
All right, so Tuskegee really pouring it on in the second half of play. 14 points with 14:07 remaining in the fourth quarter. All of this excitement is leading up to all eyes being on the Eastern Division, as the champion will earn the chance to host the 8th annual SIAC Football Championship on November 16th. Fans visit www.thesiac.com for official conference and championship gear. Make sure you get your tickets today. The Tuskegee Crimson Piper Marching Band keeping it lively here at Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium. Dwayne Walker, along with Brian McCullough.
Who's kicking out there, Dwayne?
Who's doing what?
I'm
Arnez Huskich or Huskich Arnez.
Arnez is his last name.
Whatever way you want to count it. From the 12-yard line is Saffold up to the 30. Now at the 35. And he makes his way up to the 39-yard line. And the whole gang of them land into a 3-inch puddle along the Central State sideline.
I mean, you can see how hard it is to tackle him. He is a big man. He's 6 foot 190, but he runs ferociously. He breaks almost every first tackle, and that time he was able to wrestle it up there and get some good yardage.
27 yards on that return, 27, and it'll be first down and 10 for Central State at their own 40-yard line. Marauders working left to right. I would call it their white jerseys, but they're kind of muddied right now. Williams loses the snap. Now he's got a man downfield. He tosses up the jump ball, and it's going to be deflected away. And it looked like number 1, Nico McMillan,
yes,
along with Ken Hike Jr., batting that football away from the intended receiver.
Well, we'll talk about the wide receivers. That was some really good jobs there by the receivers. Both of them boxed out Ken Hike, and the safety, Nico McMillan, came from the backside and was able to deflect the pass away, effectively rendering it incomplete.
Second down and 10 for the Marauders. Football at the 40-yard line. Twin receivers to the top of the formation. Now in motion is Greenow. He's going through the downs, and it's going to be incomplete, intended for number 80, Robert Corbin Jr., the tight end out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He could not corral the pass.
And that was the safety there. Carl Matthews had a pick earlier in the game, and he really had some good coverage there, able to knock the ball loose, incomplete, bringing up a 3rd and 10.
Darrell Williams and this Marauder offense will go with a no huddle. Admirable job this afternoon by Williams, who has taken over for the regular quarterback, Frank Casillo, who got hurt last week after their loss against Fort Valley State. That pass incomplete, intended for Saffold, and Saffold was greeted rudely by number 56, Franklin Montgomery, on the near side of the football field. And it brings up a 4th down.
And it's kind of hard to stop your momentum there. I mean, it's slippery. He slipped right after he did that as well.
If you were to gauge body language right now, the Tuskegee Golden Tigers seemed amped up, and suddenly Central State, they look as though they don't want to be here. 21-10 our score, 13:37 remaining in regulation. Number 41, that's Isaiah Smith doing the punting. There's the punt. 43-yard punt. Muffed there, but Petaway and that Tuskegee offense will have the football right there.
In that time, Petway, I mean, I just blame that one on the conditions. He had the right, he was everything was right for that play. Fair catch and everything like that. He just couldn't get a hand on it. Chalk that up to the weather.
Hey, listen, I got to be honest with you. Being from the South, you're so used to seeing football games when it's sunny and hot. I think every once in a while it's nice to have a game like this, for real, where it's you kind of get muddied up, and these young millennials get to see what it's like to play in adverse conditions. How about them apples?
That's the beauty of football.
Sweeping right is Gant. Gant up to the 20, 25, still on his feet, and he skedaddles up near the 30-yard line. Looks like he has first down yardage as well.
And it looks like they will move the chain.
Wow. Is he close? Let's see where they marked the football. It was 1st and 10 from the 17. Yeah, he skedaddled for 11 yards.
I like that, skedaddled.
I just pulled that from somewhere. I don't even know. Nonetheless, it is first down and 10 for Tuskegee. Moving right to left, fourth quarter action. Dwayne Walker, Brian McCullough here at Tuskegee. Shotgun formation, twin receivers near side. It gives it to Bright. Bright barrels his way up across the 30-yard line to about the 32. Call it a gain of 5. It'll bring up second down and 5.
Eric Bright is listed as a fullback, and Jakevion Goodlow was the one that ran in on the play and ran back out saying, hey, I'm supposed to be on the field, not you. And the play clock was running down, so he said, hey, just get back off. We're already set. And it looks like he's about to come back in. Jakevion Goodlow now in the ball game.
Dante Marshall in the middle on the defensive line, partly responsible for clogging that play up. 5-yard gain, second down and 7. Shotgun again. New running back in the game, but that was given to, I want to say Tarian Taylor. See if we can get a number from you. Let's see. It's going to be Gant, number 7, the ball carrier. New set of running backs in the game.
That's Jakevion Goodlow, the junior out of Lithia Springs, Georgia. The 5'9", 219 back. He doesn't look 219 to me, but that's what the roster says.
We'll go with what the roster says. No gain on the play, third down and 5. They'll walk up to the line of scrimmage. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Shotgun formation again, near twin receivers near side of the football field. There's the snap. He'll throw to the near side, complete to Hodges. Hodges stops at the 40, eludes a man, and now he'll be greeted on the Central State sideline, but not before gaining positive yardage.
It looks like he has enough for the first down.
It does.
And with the ref, yep.
From the 33 up to the 42, we're going to call that a 9-yard passing play. And another first down for this Tuskegee offense. The Golden Tigers coming into this game average 17.5 first downs per contest, and they'll be content with milking a little clock here and controlling the football.
Keep the ball on the ground, keep it under control. That's exactly the game plan with the lead in the fourth quarter.
Hand off to a fresh Gant, sweeping right to the 45, midfield, crosses over midfield to about the 47-yard line. So Gant with those fresh legs, the senior out of Tampa, Florida, and now looks like there may be a flag down. Unfortunately, they may bring it back. That depends on the call.
Now, I never played college, but I know from playing high school as a running back, when you got those good runs, it's just the worst for it to get brought back by a holding call or any other type of call.
Well, Brian, believe it or not, these old bones played in college, and I can tell you, as a running back, you're absolutely right.
Oh, you played running back?
I did.
Interesting.
I'll have you know I played 2 sports in college. I played football and basketball.
Oh, well, excuse me. Quite the athlete you are.
Oh, my goodness. I can promise you, though, my stories get better and better. The older I get, the more I did. You know what I mean?
Right. I was always on the technical side, as I'm in the booth with you now.
All right, well, we have an injured player on the field. Central State's number 21, that's Devon Cunningham, the 6-foot senior out of Mobile, Alabama. Player resumes, near side, twin receiver set. Doremus back to pass, play action. Rolls to his left, now he throws back across his body. That pass complete to Gant. Nice block there, let's see if they call it. Up to midfield, and whoa, it looked like Peyton Ramsey may have gotten away with one over there as Doremus found his wide receiver. If you could just see what happened on that replay, number 55, Cameron Smith, laid the football, made sure he got out of the way to give a clear path for Doremus's pass to meet Kenny Gant, and Peyton Ramsey may have gotten away with a block in the back there. Nonetheless, it's going to be a gain of 8 yards. We'll call it 2nd down and 2 from the midfield stripe. Twin receivers to the left. Now they'll hand it to Gant. Gant down near the 46-yard line, crossing over for another Tuskegee first down.
And they're doing exactly what they drew up, just, grinding out yards. You don't have to have the big play every single time. Just keep the ball under control. They have the lead. 2-score lead, that is. So there's no need to rush.
Speaking of rushing, the Golden Tigers offense, they rank 6th in the SIAC coming in.
I see what you did there. Nice segue into that. I like that.
741 yards. They've scored 7. Now make that 9 touchdowns on the ground, and they average 123 yards per game on the ground. Here comes the blitz package from the Central State, and the ball goes to Gant, and Gant may have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Getting up off the pile, lastly, the guy in the middle, number 95, Dante Marshall, for Central State.
Central State has to climb. They're down 2 scores in the fourth quarter. It's not over by any means, but Central State really needs to step up and make a play. This defense has been quiet. They've been allowing yards being grinded off them, and that's precious time off the clock. So we're going to see if Central State can step up this series.
2nd down and 10 from the 47-yard line for Tuskegee, moving right to left. Low snap taken by Doremus, looks to the far flat, and it's is it complete to Petway? He had it in his hands, and then hot potatoed it out.
I think he was focused on trying to get his feet in and lost his track of the ball. Of course, we know it's slippery.
Well, it's going to bring up 3rd down. 3rd down and 10. And you talked about this Central State defense needing to step up. Well, they're dead last on 3rd down conversions here. Let's see. 3rd down and 10. Shotgun, snap, under duress. Oh, he gets by a man, does Doremus. Now he throws, looking for Hodges down the field. Hodges comes back to the football, and it ricochets off of a couple of hands out of bounds.
That was a fight for the football there. He threw it into double coverage, had 2 receivers with him. Peyton Ramsey was a little bit out the play, and Hodges was able to get a hand on it. That's going to bring up a 4th down for the Golden Tigers.
Let's see what they decide to do. They bring out the punting unit.
Oh, play it safe.
Ryan Duff will do the honors. The football resting at the 47-yard line. And Delane Brown will set up shop near the 15-yard line for the Marauders. There's a snap, pressure, spiraled down to the 17-yard line. Coming back the other way is Brown, and Brown goes down at the 20-yard line. 30-yard punt by Ryan Duff, and that's where Central State will take over their offense.
Central State, I talked about it earlier, they have a long way to go and a short time to get there. 7:41 remaining. They need 2 scores. So we're going to see if they come out with the big play or they try to dial up something new as it being the fourth quarter.
Darrell Williams, the quarterback, the freshman out of Cincinnati, Ohio. He'll stand in the shotgun formation. Triple wide receiver set to the far side of the football field. There it is. He'll throw into the flats. That ball is tipped and picked off. Picked off by, might be that guy again. Let's see who it is. Number 1, that's Nico McMillan, the 6'2 junior out of Orlando, coming up with the second interception on the day for this Tuskegee defense.
There's something about having a lead in a game that makes you play a lot better. You know, you have the momentum with you. I talked about this earlier in the game. The Golden Tigers had the advantage being at home. All momentum is with them being in the lead, and you saw it there. Being comfortable, read it, picked it, and the Golden Tigers have the ball again.
It looked as though the wide receiver on the offense kind of tapped the ball right into the hands of Nico McMillan. So Tuskegee, they have the lead and the football. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line of Central State. And that football is handed to number 24, DeJohn Conway, the freshman out of Locust Grove, Georgia. And looks like he may have lost a yard on the carry. And now slow getting up is going to be a big offensive lineman, number 73. That's Rosalind Romaine, the 6'5" out of Pompano Beach, Florida.
And Rosalind Romaine, a great player. He's been a starter all 4 years. And he's helped this offensive line a lot, not only on the field, but off the field, very much so. First one to tell somebody, hey, we need to start doing this, getting the team together.
2nd down and 11 after the loss of 1. Bracketed is Bryce and Conway. Quarterback keeper by Damaris. Stutter steps at the 20. Now sideswipes the guy and gets down near the 16-yard line, we'll call it. So give him a gain of 6 yards on the play.
We saw flashes of Bryce at West Alabama, and he can really sling the ball. Especially he's comfortable back in the pocket. Of course, he's one of the taller quarterbacks that we have, so he can see over his linemen.
Number 92, Richard Gaskin, in on the tackle. And we see a lot of slow motion, a lot of slow gathering by the Central State defenders. They look a little bit tiresome, shall we say. There's a timeout on the field. Why don't we take a quick timeout, too, with our score. Tuskegee 21, Central State 10. You're watching SIAC Football on Flo Sports. Welcome back. 6:31 to play in regulation. Tuskegee threatening. They have an 11-point lead. It's 3rd down. Call it 5 from the 15-yard line. Waiting for the snap in the shotgun is Ahmad Doremus. Doremus has it. He'll throw the fade to the right side of the field, and it is going to be caught. No, they're going to call it incomplete. They're going to say that he was out of bounds. Peyton Ramsey, the intended receiver, already has a touchdown catch this afternoon, his 5th touchdown of the season, but he was marked out of bounds on that one.
And taking a look at the replay, he went up and came down in bounds. That actually would be a touchdown, but there is no replay in Division II SIAC football.
There's a replay here on Flo Sports, though.
There is, most definitely.
Well, nonetheless, Tuskegee, they still have the football. They still have the lead. And let's see what we're going to do here. They may reverse the call here.
Well, he had 2 feet in as we look at the replay. So just taking a look at the replay again, slowing things down, we can see he actually has both feet in as the ball came down, in bounds, clearly with possession of the ball. So this should be a touchdown by all standards.
Well, as you mentioned before, there's no replay. And I got to be honest. There's the human element part of it, too. Nobody's perfect. And we'll keep it moving.
And we will keep it moving. The race to the Rock Hill has begun for the 2019 SIAC Cross Country Championship. The SIAC Cross Country Championship will take place in Rock Hill, South Carolina on October 25th, 2019. Fans follow SIAC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the SIAC for all access coverage.
Fourth down, forthcoming for Tuskegee. They have the football at the Central State 16-yard line. Tuskegee so far this season on fourth down, 27% efficiency. He'll launch the football into the early end zone, and it's going to be deflected, but they're going to call a foul. A flag. Excuse me. I'm in basketball mode. Coach Powell is next to me. I'm thinking hoops right now. A foul. A flag, excuse me. But to be honest, it didn't look like the receiver was going to have an opportunity to catch the football, and the defender just deflected the ball down to the ground. But there is going to be a call, and if that's the case, it's going to give Tuskegee a first down. Half the distance. Oh, in the end zone, so the 2-yard line.
That's the 2-yard line, yes, sir. First down, or first and goal.
Well, Tuskegee will have the football in the red zone once again, and they will they have upped their numbers today. They came in 11 of 17 in the red zone with 6 running touchdowns and a couple of passing, but they've increased on that today. First and goal from the 2-yard line. Taylor is going to be brought down. No gain on that play. A host of Marauders in on that tackle. And you know whose name we haven't had an opportunity to call a lot of? All SIAC performer Kalen Abrams, the 6'2 junior out of Detroit, Michigan. Number 92, Richard Gaskins, limps off of the field, and he crumbles down to the turf near the 20-yard line. Second and goal from the 5 for the Tuskegee offense, moving right to left. Eric Bright is the up back, in an eye. Play action pass. Abrams double clutches. He's got a man wide open in the end zone, and it is incomplete. Tuskegee actually had 2 opportunities to catch the football.
That's got to be one of the worst things.
I've never seen on a play where both tight ends actually had an opportunity to catch the ball on the same play. Number 83, Ronald Cooper, the 6'3" out of Pritchard, Alabama, as well as Alexander Mitchell, they both had a crack at catching the football. Neither did.
That's maybe about the 6th time this season they've actually targeted the tight end, as they are a heavily running team, so they don't get a lot of opportunities to catch the ball. So it's a shame to see them not be able to capitalize on that opportunity there.
Third down and goal. Cooper in motion. Loose football. It's down on the turf. Let's see if they recover the football. If DeRamus got back on it. I believe he did.
Everybody's so muddy.
Now, and they're going to call a flag on the play. It's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct, and they're going to move him back. So, with 5 minutes and 4 seconds to play, Tuskegee making a few mental errors here. Mental and physical. First with the missed exchange, and now the unsportsmanlike. But I'm not the referee, so let's just wait and see what Ben Cole has to say. Cameron Smith. That's the first one for Cameron Smith. If he gets another one, he will have to leave the game. The senior out of Lithonia, Georgia. And now in to attempt a 40-yard field goal attempt is my guy. Who's that?
Huskich Arns. Huskich Arns, and there's movement.
So instead of being a 40-yard field goal, it will be a 35-yard field goal if they rule encroachment.
That's who.
They'll huddle up. Ben Cole lines up Monique Washington included. But now we've got Frank Trevino joining the conversation. Referees have done a nice job today. I know you talked about a missed touchdown earlier. But other than that, overall, they've done a fine job this afternoon. 5 minutes and 4 seconds to play. Tuskegee leads it by a score of 21-10. Dwayne Walker along with Brian McCullough. Here comes Ben Cole. So they're going to hit Javion Williams, the junior linebacker out of Atlanta, with the encroachment. And now it'll be a 35-yard field goal attempt instead of a 40-yarder.
And the crowd is just having a field day in this rain. And that's giving the Golden Tigers all the momentum that they need.
Oh, yeah. Their 12th man has definitely made a difference, especially in the second half of play.
Huskich Arnez.
All right, here's Arnez waiting for the snap. There it is. The place, the hold, the kick. It's up. It's got the distance, and it is wide to the right. And that's where Central State will take over the football as they trail by 11. Timeout on the field. Let's take a timeout, too, with the score. Tuskegee 21, Central State 10. You're watching SIAC Football on Flow Sports. First and 10 from the 20-yard line for the Central State Marauders. Darrell Williams went back to pass, and he's going to be swarmed under, and he's going to be sacked. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. Number
8, Sean McGee, the 6'3 senior from Snellville, Georgia.
And that's going to be a loss of 11 yards on that sack. Second down, call it 21 for Williams. He's going to go for the downs. He just launches it up in the air, and it's almost intercepted. That was just a heave-ho, and it almost turned into the third interception of the ball game as number 39 on the play. Now we have an injured player on the field. Standing at the 35-yard line is number 9. Who is that? Trying to get a better number for you. Still trying to make out a number. And now the training staff for Tuskegee will come out. 4:22 to play. And while we have this moment, just a reminder that all roads will lead to Rock Hill for the 2019 SIAC Volleyball Championship from November 18th through the 20th. Follow the SIAC on the website, thesiac.com, for full coverage of the volleyball tournament. Also, the race to Rock Hill has begun for the 2019 SIAC Cross Country Championships. The SIAC Cross Country Championship is in Rock Hill, South Carolina on October 25th, 2019. Fans follow the SIAC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at the SIAC for all access coverage. So 3rd down and a long way. 3rd down and 21 for Central State. Desperate times coming up as 4:22 left on the clock, and the clock is now becoming their enemy. Central State ranks 8th in the conference in 3rd down efficiency at a 30% clip, and they've got a monumental task here. Williams, they'll try to cross it over and taken there by Brown, and he's quickly swarmed under by number 12. That's DeVoris Thomas coming in from his linebacker position to snuff that play out.
And DeVoris Thomas has been starting ever since he was a freshman. He came in and started and starred for the Golden Tigers, and here he is again making a play.
Give him 2 yards on that play. It'll bring up 4th down. Petway back deep for Tuskegee, standing at the midfield stripe. At number 41, Isaiah Smith, he's standing on the end zone, ready to receive the snap. Now take a couple steps deep into the end zone. There's the snap. There's the punt. Now let's see, it takes a bounce. Favorable bounce, and it'll be downed at the 46-yard line of Tuskegee. Nonetheless, a 45-yard punt by Smith, and that's where the Tuskegee offense will take over with 3:27 to play in regulation. So let's see if Coach Willie Slater and this Golden Tiger offense will be content with getting a couple of first downs and getting up out of here.
Of course, that would, be the game plan here. You don't want to do anything too fancy that can jeopardize this lead. Of course, you have a 2-score lead, so you have a lot of leeway and a little bit of time left. So most likely they're just going to run the ball out.
See some fresh white jerseys in there, some fresh jerseys in there, should I say. That football carried there by Patterson. No gain on the play. As a matter of fact, he's going to lose a couple on that effort. Call it a loss of 3 yards, 2nd down and 13. Correction, 12 yards. Let's call it 2nd and 12. Now the clock dips under 3 minutes to play, 2:53 and ticking. Let's see if they try to utilize all of this play clock. They don't. 7 seconds on the bone. Pass down the field. It's caught to Ramsey. Ramsey down to the 30. Reverse pivots. And now he is down at about the 29-yard line.
I mean, you have the win in your pocket essentially. Not totally, but essentially. Why not go down the field? And that time he was able to connect with Ramsey to get the first down and a lot of yards.
31-yard pass play, and Central State is going to call a timeout. There's a timeout on the field. Let's take one last quick timeout, too. You're watching the SIAC Football on Flow Sports with our score, Tuskegee 21, Central State 10. Coming into this contest, Tuskegee ranked dead last in scoring offense, averaging just 16.8 points per contest. They've got 21 so far in this one. They've got an 11-point lead and trying to basically run out the clock. 1st down and 10 at the Marauders' 30-yard line. Ben Cole blows his whistle. Now we're back in play. twin receivers to the top of the formation. There's a handoff. Now the football is loose. Patterson gave it up, and the Marauders say thank you very much, and it will be their football.
I told you this game is not over. The win not necessarily in their pocket. That was recovered by number 75 for the Marauders.
No doubt about it.
And giving
Elijah Slaughter on that recovery. The freshman, 6'2", out of Childersburg, Alabama.
Transfer from Alabama A&M.
So let's see if late life can be blown into Central State. 21-10, 2:20 to play in regulation. Trip wide receivers to the near side of the football field. Williams waiting in shotgun formation at the 28-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 33. They'll swing it out to the left to Saffold, and Saffold can't corral it in. It's incomplete. The good thing is that the clock stops. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
You also have to keep in mind that they have no timeout, so they need to move efficiently, get an onside kick. I mean, the stars have to align if we're being honest.
Right now they need a score of any kind to have a chance. And once again, filling in Darrell Williams for the regular quarterback, Frank Cosio, who is out. And gang tackle there with little or no gain, actually no gain at all. Back at the 33-yard line was who had that football? It looked like number 6, Kevin Greenow on the carry.
Now, that was a delayed handoff. It had to have been a running back, I believe.
Right, and I believe it was number 6 that grabbed that football. Anyway, 3rd down and 8. Left side of the line moved for Central State. It looked like number 53, Maurice Brandy. Looked like he moved before the snap. Ben Cole on the call. It was number 53.
Maurice Brandy, yep.
Maurice Brandy.
Junior from Detroit, Michigan. Transfer from Salina Heights.
All right, 3rd down, call it 13. And let's see if they're asking for the band to stop playing. Let's see why they're waiting.
I was thinking the same thing. Everybody looked towards the band.
Okay, they're asking for we're at a tennis tournament. They're saying quiet, please. Left to right goes Central State. Band stops playing. Williams rolls off to his right. He's got a man in and out of the hands of that near side receiver, number 1, Delane Brown, the junior wide receiver out of Youngstown, Ohio. And he simply puts his hands behind his back in disgust, knowing he should have came up with that football. 1:23 to play in regulation. Time definitely running out on the Marauders. And the band will crank up again on 4th down. Twins to the top, twins down low. Williams scrambling out of the pocket to the left, running out of room. Throws the football up in the air, and his guy cannot reach up and grab the football. That's number 83, Tyree Roberson, the junior tight end out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Couldn't stretch his 6'3" frame up high enough to grab that football, and Tuskegee will take over the football on downs, and this will pretty much be it. I'm sure they'll get into the victory formation, and this one will be a wrap. They'll have it 1st down and 10 at the Central State 30-yard line. And while we have the opportunity, big time thanks to our production crew this afternoon from Flow Sports, braving the elements, doing a phenomenal job on our coverage this afternoon. A fine job indeed. Victory formation for Tuskegee with 1:15 to play. Now the snap, they'll shake hands and exchange pleasantries.
One more snap.
Near the 30-yard line. 2 more snaps before it's over. And wisely, Tuskegee will let the play clock run down. There's a 30-second differential. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. 40 seconds on the game clock, 10 on the play clock. Doremus under center. He'll take the snap. He'll go down to one knee. And let's see. That should be all she wrote. And it is. 20 seconds left. And we might as well go ahead and do a quick wrap here. Congratulations to the Tuskegee Golden Tigers as their record improves to 3-4 on the season, while the Central State Marauders, their record drops to 2-5. Well, that's it from Abbott Memorial Alumni Stadium on the campus of Tuskegee University. And Brian McCullough, any final words before we get out of here?
This was a hard-fought game on both sides. The Marauders came in looking for their third win of the season, unable to get it, of course. Golden Tigers in the same predicament. Both 1-1. Golden Tigers able to come out on top, and this was a great game to watch. A very, very good game to watch as we see a player do a mud dive. The Golden Tigers just, outplayed the Marauders, outran them, and their defense stepped up to make a really, really good show today. So, great game all around. I want to see how the Marauders improve off of this loss, what they can do in the future.
And speaking of future, as it relates to Tuskegee, they're still in the hunt in the Western Division. They improved their record to 3-1 in the conference. All right, so for my broadcast partner, Brian McCullough, my name is Dwayne Walker. You have been watching SIAC Football on Flow Sports with our final score, Tuskegee 21, Central State 10. For our broadcast team and our production crew, have a very pleasant afternoon.
And it's caught. What a perfectly thrown ball for the Spider. Spider 35, Rawlings over the middle, and the pass is caught. And it's a touchdown. Jalen Sandifer kind of backpedaling into the end zone with 1:30 to go. Rawlings has time, throwing for the end zone, and it's a touchdown.
All night.
Second down. Rawlings over the middle, and a leaping catch for the touchdown in the end zone. It's Reed Klupnick for the Yale touchdown. And the Yale Bulldogs in pure jubilation
As
over
they should be.
a remarkable comeback victory.